So this lesson, students decompose a number into three parts. This is a great lesson because it continues this whole idea on decomposing. You can hit the idea that composing is the opposite. You can talk about how all the ways you break the number apart are still equal. They still have the same value. Sorry, excuse my janky handwriting. My pen is no longer working. The batteries ran out. Anyway, here's the thing. This is also leading us to something else that's really important, and I want you to have your eye on that prize, right? So in some ways it's review, right? We're just doing these same things, but now we're using three parts instead of two. The reason why we're doing that is because eventually we're gonna wanna add a number like this. And we're gonna wanna do it instead like this, because 8 and 2 make 10. Eventually, we're going to want to compose a 10, right? We're going to do that through, like starting with just two parts, okay? This is way down the line, but I want, stick with me here, right? Eventually, we're going to want to, this is called incrementing, where we add in pieces. One day, we really want them to look at this and think of it like this, right? Okay, so we know eventually they're going to actually need to make three parts from two parts. Step one is, here you have this number, can you break this number up into three parts, right? Just any old three parts. And then can you put those parts back together to check it's still 12? So this real like comfort with breaking apart, putting back together, break it in 2 ways, put it back together, break it in 3 ways, put it back together. All these ways still make the same value as long as we count really carefully and preserve the amount of cubes we have. That's all leading to some pretty sophisticated work, right? That honestly some adults can't even do. And so I just want you to have that in mind as you're teaching this lesson. We're also doing a lot here with algebra in terms of writing these equal to each other and balanced equations. So there's a lot happening here. This is really important. We're not just, trying to make it trickier. So start by asking them to tell you what they've learned in first grade math so far. I think this is going to be a really good diagnostic, right? The things you really want to have come up, right, are that the equal sign means the same as. You really want to say we've decomposed and the value stays the same when we decompose because we could just put it right back together, right? All of that. We've been working with two parts. Today, you need to find a way to break 11 into three parts. And that's their task. That's what their worksheet looks like. Here it is. We asked them to do it a few ways, right? But at first, just one way. Let's see how they break it up. Just one way. This is what the problem-solving task is. Okay, so they're going to go to work. Here's where you really want to anticipate what you think you're going to see. You've been breaking it up into two parts. How do you think they'll break it up into three parts, right? I'm going to let you think that through. Then you have them learn from your friends. Who are you going to choose, right? I would bring two people's work to the rug, right? Starting with someone who's wrong, letting them share out, right? And really letting everybody have a discussion about how you know they were wrong, that the totals here did not add back up to the original number, right? Then have another student share who does it correctly and have them explain what they did. This whole time, you're really, really, really focused on, right? How do we know our teammates are correct? They add back up together, right? And then, how are we representing this? What equation are we using? And what model are we using? There's really like a double learning here. There's the learning of the concept. In the end, you need them to have a real aha, right? Oh my goodness, you can break this total up into three parts instead of two parts, and you still have a value that never changes. Also, this is how we represent it. This is how we represent it, right? Try it again with some other numbers. Don't use the numbers that we're using in the IP or the exit slip. Be really deliberate about that. And then keep talking about the different ways to write your number sentences, linking it back to that, right? Then they're ready to start their work on the carpet.